All right, hey everybody, Ben here with We Go Fishing, and it has been a while.
Yeah, about 3 weeks or 2 or 3 weeks since we posted
And in case you don't know,
anything.
this is Karen. She didn't introduce herself, but hopefully you know this by now.
Oh, come on. They know
I
it's
know if they're
Karen.
watching
Ben
this,
and
they know.
Karen.
Okay, Ben and Karen, yeah. But yeah, it's been a little while since we have been able to post. It's been about 3 weeks. If anybody's keeping track of such things, I don't know if anybody does. But we had some...
I don't think we have that avid of fans.
No, probably not.
Yeah.
But yeah, we had some health things that happened, and so we have, and then the boat broke.
Yeah.
Boat's
the boat
broken.
broke. We have to take it to the shop. I don't know what's wrong, but I'm thinking
So yeah,
transmission or
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know. But in any case, so that's broken, and so we're gonna get that thing fixed, and then hopefully we're gonna do, God willing, some surf fishing this weekend.
Because the boat's still broken.
Because the boat's broken, so hopefully
yeah.
we'll do some surf fishing this weekend. Get out there and do, because it's been a couple of weeks since we've been able to even go fishing. Due to the health problems, I went from like 200 some odd pounds down to like 186. You were sick for a little while, so that's just been a little bit of a challenge.
Yeah, but I don't lose any weight. Somehow you do, and I don't. So girls just have it harder, I think.
Yeah, maybe so. But so anyway, the fishing news of the week. This is going to be a little bit of a different episode because I've been collecting some articles over time. I do this. I'm a news junkie anyway, so I was kind of like just collecting articles and getting some things together for the next time. And I just going to be maybe a little bit of a downer episode. I don't want to say downer episode. It's more of like a PSA.
No, it's like encouragement, not downer.
No.
Here's what you should do.
Yeah, here.
Because here's what happened to people who didn't do this.
Yeah. So let me just go. I'm not going to read all the articles. It just so happened that as I was looking at articles to read and things, that it just kept coming up. Boater safety. And it's getting ready to be summertime. People are getting out there on the water. School's going to be ending. People are going to get out there. They've said that, and I think we did a news thing a little bit ago about just the amount of people that are out there enjoying the outdoors, and which is wonderful. We want people outside.
Remember we talked about how many more people bought fishing licenses.
Hunting licenses.
There's a lot more people that are crossing your lines. There's a lot more people that are trying kayaks for the first time. I've seen people go out there and get
Buy 'em
nowhere
and then sell them
because they don't even know how to paddle. I mean, we have people everywhere.
Yeah,
So boater safety, but also if you're in a kayak, this applies to you.
Yeah,
also.
I mean, I'd say probably especially kayaking. But I just saw these articles. There was like 4, 5, 6 of them all at one time, so I just picked a couple of them, and I wanted to talk about it, and then hopefully give you some things to do, because I just think this is vital. We want to have a great summer. I don't want to read headlines like this. And it's avoidable. That's the other thing. These things are avoidable. Accidents happen, I know, but a lot of these things that we're looking at here, they're avoidable things. I mean, these are things that are just a little bit of precaution, and things will be okay. Here's the first one. This is from KRISTV.com. Missing boater near Aransas Bay found dead. And again, I'm not going to read this all. It's just it gives his name and things. I'll put the links to all the articles in the description below. But this talks about this was at the beginning of April. They had been searching for him, and he was found. He went missing, was found dead. He was originally from the Austin area. And this is what I wanted to point out on this one.
41 years old.
41, same age as me. I'm 41, so same age as me. Coast Guard and other agencies were looking for him. He had been ejected from a vessel near Trout Bayou, and they dispatched him, were loaded. One boater was able to be recovered by a Good Samaritan, and the other was found, and he had passed away. He had drowned.
So he wasn't even alone.
No.
And 9:30 in the morning.
9:30 in the morning, so
not
it's not
necessarily
alcohol
early. Related.
I wouldn't think so, but I think there is something he probably could have had that would have helped him. We'll talk about that when we talk about the boater safety stuff. Here's the second one that I thought I just again, it gives his name here. Fisherman goes missing in Trinity Bay. Boat still found in gear, driving in circles. This is important because you know what this tells me right here?
He didn't have that little clip.
He didn't have a safety lanyard. Most likely his safety lanyard was not attached to him. So here's another one, 40 years old. So 40-year-old fisherman, and he was identified as missing. His boat was found in gear, driving in circles. While and cell phone were on the boat, but there was nowhere to be found. They went to try and find him, and I would
can't imagine his poor family.
Yeah. So
I mean, it's supposed to cut the engine off as soon as you get too far away from it, right?
So anyway, you have that one that's out of Houston, And then this one came off of Fox News. Ex-Jet star Pete Lamons, dead at 77, and note after fishing accident. He played for the Jets, and he was actually this is what's sad too. He was an experienced co-angler for Major League Fishing. So it's not this guy's a new. I mean, this guy is a professional fisherman
for years and years and years.
But look what happened. Lamons died by drowning after he fell off a fishing boat, Sam Rayborn Reservoir in Texas. So he fell off the fishing boat and he drowned. And it kind of talks a little about him and his career. And I'm not going to read all of this to you.
But it seems like he would have been a fairly good swimmer if he was on the fishing team, but maybe not.
You would think so.
Maybe at that age it was too hard.
I don't know. But having said this is 3 cases. Like I said, there were many. And as I was going through, I have a news services that I use to try and find these articles to talk about fishing headlines. But this was there were like 6 or 7 of these where people had died or were missing, or actually there was one about the immigration in San Diego, an immigration boat. I guess they were illegally coming into the United States. The fishing boat was destroyed, killing a bunch of them. And so boating accidents happen. It's something that we need to be aware of. It's something that we need to take into account. And that's what this Fishing News of the Week is really all about, is just thinking boating safety, because it is very important, especially here on the Texas coast. Every time we go down to the beach, red flag warning. I don't think, very rarely is it not a red flag warning, and people don't pay attention to it. They don't think it's a big deal. You have all kinds of different things that come into that. You have the winds, you have the currents, you have the tides, just all of those things that come into it. So here's what I want to give to you guys.
So you have some tips for them, some things that they should do.
Here's what I thought we were talking about. I'm pulling this right off the Texas Parks and Wildlife site. I'm sure every Parks and Wildlife has this type of thing. Each state probably has it, but I'm using Texas just because we're in Texas. But they're good suggestions, and there's a whole bunch, and I'll link this article below. But there's some just boater safety tips, and I'll read through them and then make some comments. Karen can talk about it as well. Always wear a life jacket, guys. I wear a life jacket. You see it in the videos. Now I have one of the quick inflate ones, and what I also do, I keep the tube out of it. In case it doesn't auto-inflate, I have the tube right there that I can go into. I always wear it when the boat's underway. I don't wear it when we're stopped. I take it off when we're stopped. And then I have the safety lanyard attached to my life vest. So when we're underway, I put the life jacket on just before we go, and we're going to the next spot. Always wear a life jacket. I make my kids wear a life jacket. They hate it. They always say, I don't want to wear a life jacket. Always wear a life jacket. I mean, it's going to save your life. You think, I'm a good swimmer, right? But you get knocked out of the boat, you hit your head. I mean, it happens. It happens. So wear a life jacket. Number 2, avoid alcohol. I know everybody likes to go down to Beer Can Island and have a good time, and I understand that. I get that, but
it can lead to some...
You're in the sun.
Bad decisions.
You're in the sun. You're going to get dehydrated. And we always joke about there were beers involved. And nobody's saying, hey, don't go out there and have a good time, whatever. But make sure somebody, especially the captain, whoever's captaining your boat, sober. Just stay sober. I mean, it's and if you're on the boat and you want to have a couple, fine. But make sure somebody's not having some, because that person needs to be the driver. That person needs to be taking care of everybody. Make sure you get home safely.
And that's the person that should be pulling your boat onto the trailer.
Yes, definitely not that. Everybody thinks that they're good until they try and they get off the boat and then they. Whoa.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you always see that. Be careful.
But it also affects your decision making.
Yeah. So. We don't have a lot of trouble with this here, but probably down towards South Padre, Houston, places like that. Aransas Pass, I haven't really seen a whole lot of personal PWCs, Corpus, because it's just so shallow and things. But personal watercrafts, I think they're death. Personally, I just do. They're dangerous. They're I say.
Are you talking about like paddle boats?
No. These are like the Sea-Doos. The Yamahas, the Sea-Doos.
Oh, you're talking
they're like
about
motorcycles.
like jet skis.
Yeah, jet skis. Yeah. They're motorcycles on the water.
Okay.
And they're death. I mean, people don't realize how dangerous they are. They think, they're cheap, they're fun, they're inexpensive. Yeah, but you're riding a motorcycle on the water. And you got to think that way. And if you're not wearing a life jacket on a PWC, I think you're nuts. Just putting it out there. It says children 13 must wear a flotation device. Again, I make all my kids wear one. They hate it, but I make them. boater education class. We'll talk about that in a minute. If you haven't done a boater education class, it's not a bad thing to do. It's just not. It's going to teach you stuff. Don't overload your boat. Oh my goodness. How many times are we down at the docks?
Pay attention to your weight limits.
Weight limit, person limit. Pay attention to that stuff, people. I can't tell you how many times we're down at the docks and I see somebody coming in obviously overloaded. There's, this much clearance between the water and the deck. I'm not talking about the skinny water boats. I'm talking about boats that are V-hulls.
Yeah.
And
more,
they've got...
more happens in Florida than here. But.
Yeah, but man, you just see people
overloaded.
Those... And then the other thing is they're not taking into account, their personal weight, but not their stuff. So you got your coolers, you got your ice, you got your food, you got your tackle. All that stuff counts towards your weight, and people don't think about that. Safe speed operation. There is no speed limit on the water that I'm aware of, except for no wake zones. But be safe on that. This one is more of if you're doing the pleasure cruising, passenger service lookout. Make sure somebody's watching. I mean, this is if you're doing water skiing, kneeboarding, wakeboarding, all that stuff. You gotta have a spotter. Make sure somebody's watching behind you, and then watch out for low water areas and submerged objects, sandbars, oyster reefs.
Watch for sandbars, people.
Things like that. If
it's brown, don't go there.
Don't go there. I have hit sandbars before. It does happen. You kind of hit the spoils. I mean, it does happen. I've got a shallow water boat, so I can get off them, but be conscious of it. It's there. So just kind of go through this. I don't want to belabor all these points, but again, just going back through, looking at these headlines. 41 years old. 40 years old. This guy was older. He should have, he was experienced. You would think he would have been okay. So don't dismiss this stuff as unimportant. And I just can't overemphasize this one. Always wear a personal flotation device or life jacket. Please, for your own sake. You think you can swim. You think they're stupid. You think whatever. But most boating fatality, and this is right on the website, it is true. Most boating fatality victims were found not wearing a life jacket.
Yeah. And a lot of them are also alone.
Alone.
And I'll tell you a personal story. My brother was 28, and he decided to go in a canoe. And he was at Fairchild Air Force Base. He was actually training. He was an officer training in survival techniques to all of the other cadets there. So he's supposed to be the expert in survival techniques. And because he was emotional at the time, wasn't thinking well, he got in some sort of, argument. And so he decides, I'm just going to go on this canoe and I'm just going to have a good time. And I'm going to think about that. And he went without a life vest, thinking I am one of the best swimmers in this whole state.
And he's very good.
And
I'm a survival expert.
But, he must have tipped over, hit a rock, and somehow was incapacitated to swim. It was at a time where the water was so cold that you basically had under 50 seconds to, once you get submerged, to get out before your body kind of gets stiff, because it's so cold. And unfortunately, my brother drowned that day because he didn't wear a life jacket.
So that might tell you a little bit about why we're passionate about this, because it's affected our family personally. But wear a PFD. Just do it, especially when you're underway. I don't wear one while we're parked or anchored or fishing. I don't wear one then. But when we're underway, boat is moving, wear one. It's just wise. And then always make sure you have enough for everybody on the boat. That's actually a rule, but make sure you got enough for everybody. Of the proper size too. Proper sizing is important, so make sure you got enough for the people, and then the children. Make your kids wear one. I see kids on boats that don't wear one, and I'm so thankful when the game warden pulls them over and be like, hey, and you say, oh, the game warden, yeah, because people die doing this stuff, so it is serious.
What's interesting to me is they have all these huge bullet points. Avoid alcohol. You know what they don't have in this list? Watch the weather.
Well, yeah, we're going to get to that. You're stealing my thunder.
Am I?
Pun intended.
Okay. Pun
Because
I'm looking at this, I'm
No.
Most of these are probably also weather-related.
Wind.
Yeah, even the day that my brother went, it was a terrible day to go.
Yeah.
He would not have been able to not capsize. And watch the weather. I guess you'll get to that.
Yeah, we'll talk about that one, I think. Avoid alcohol. Notice this. The probability of being killed in boating accident doubles when alcohol is involved. And we joke about it. And like I said, nobody's saying don't have a couple of beers and have a good time, whatever it be. But somebody on that boat's got to be sober. And it's got to be the captain.
Driver
It's got to
would
be
be best.
Right. It's got to be the captain. If you're the captain of the boat, you be sober.
Speaking
let
of
your crew have
drinking
a
and
good time,
driving,
but
we were in Aransas Pass the other day. Yeah, I was driving to Lowe's, and I saw a guy in a tractor with a 40 getting pulled over.
Getting pulled over, yeah. So, operating a boat under the influence, just as dangerous as driving a car. It is also illegal. So be aware of that, and don't. You're not only endangering yourself, you're endangering your crew, and you're endangering everybody around you. So that's why we talk about that. Boater education class. Majority of vessels, it says, are involved in boating accidents are operated 26 to 50. So it's a good idea to take one if you haven't taken one. If you don't know about your boat, if you don't know how to operate it, and you don't have anybody to teach you, boater education courses are a good thing. So be aware of that. Be especially careful on PWCs. That's the jet skis and stuff like that. Notice, you must wear a PFD because those things are dangerous. And motorcycles on the water is what I call them. I mean, that's what they are.
When I've ridden them, I get flown off all the time.
All the time. And then if you notice the currents, the wind.
And then I have to swim back to it.
You're drifting away from it. And then also with jet skis,
you have to have the little clip that goes to the engine.
You got to have the same thing. You got to have the cutoff. But here's one thing I'm going to say about the PWCs. Practice getting on the thing. I have seen people fall off of them and they can't get back on them.
And they haven't tried that.
And they have no idea how to get themselves back on the thing. So
they
I would
just
highly
stay in the
recommend,
water, holding on to the edge.
Right. If you own a jet ski and you don't, and it's the same thing with kayaks.
How to get back in.
Know how to get back in your kayak. You're going to fall off. Everybody does. I mean, it's going to happen. You're going to tip. It's just going to happen. So if you don't know how to get back in your kayak, I'd say go down to go close shore, somewhere where you can even stand maybe, but practice flipping it over and getting back into it. Because you'd be surprised, especially if you're panicked. If that's not an automatic thing and you're not thinking about how do I get back on this thing, how quickly you wear out. I mean, people, especially if you're not in very good shape.
I've seen people wear out after 2 tries.
Yeah, they don't have the upper body strength.
Right.
And there's a trick for kayaks, by the way. I don't have it with me. But buy a little $10 igloo cooler and carry that with you on your kayak, because that actually can provide you enough buoyancy to push you up. You can use it you can put your foot on it because it's got the handle on top, and you can use it like buoyancy to push you up. So that's a little trick there. I mean, I would definitely recommend that because it can help you get back on a kayak. But before you rent one of these things, before you go out on a jet ski, make sure you do that. And also, 50-foot rule is also a good thing. Operate at safe speeds. Again, like it says here, there's no speed limits on the water, but use common sense. I mean, I see some of these guys that got these big engines are just going way too fast, or they're not paying attention to who's around them. And so, you have people that are lined up maybe on the sides of the channel, not in the channel, but they're maybe lined up on the sides of the channel and they're fishing and stuff. And you got this guy that comes ripping by at 60 miles an hour throwing this. And they're just throwing this massive wake out and they're just not paying attention. So be aware of that. Be prudent, be smart. I know, people are going to beat me to my spot. Well, you know what? Maybe if you're in Bassmasters or something that matters, but none of us. Or very few of us are going to be in that category where getting that one spot where there's plenty to go around. If you don't know how to do that, then that's on you. But operate at safe speeds. And then the one that's not on here is the one Karen was talking about, but it is vital, especially here on the Texas coast. Now, I can't say Florida, Louisiana. I can't tell you all the coasts. I know in Maryland we had small craft advisories that would come up, and they were pretty good about predicting that. But be aware of your weather conditions. Know your winds. Know if weather's going to change during the day. Keep an eye on the skies for fronts coming in. I have a little radio that I take even inshore fishing. I have a little radio in case something does go wrong. I can radio for help. Of Of course, we're close by, so cell phones as well. But be aware of your weather conditions. Wind is a huge thing here, especially where we are. So just be aware of that.
Well, we were
conditions
out
change quick.
fishing Padre Island one time, and we were coming in, and there was a small craft advisory. The weather was picking up. The wind was horrible. It started thunder, lightning, and I'm looking out, and I see small craft still out there.
Yeah.
And then I see the game wardens out to rescue them.
Going out to get 'em.
So it's like,
So
watch
be
that
aware.
weather.
Yeah, be aware of the weather conditions as they change. Weather does change during the day. You can get pop-up thunderstorms, pop-up showers. I know those of you that are on kayaks, you guys probably pay attention more than that than guys on boats. But the other thing you got to be recognizing too is when you get back to if weather does change quickly, getting back to that dock, you're going to get stacked up. Because if everybody's coming in, so be wise, be smart, have a great boating summer, catch lots of fish, enjoy yourself, get out there, enjoy. That's what our channel is all about, is hopefully inspiring others to get out there and have a good time. Do it safely. Like I said, we don't want to read these headlines where people went out for having to have a good day, have some fun on the water, catch some fish, whatever it might be. Next thing you know, a family's in mourning, and some simple precautions could have been taken. To help that. So call it a PSA, call it some encouraging to say, hey, do this, do the right things. And I think that we'll have a great summer. The fish are coming back. I've seen some good reports. I've seen Port A jetties. You can't go all the way out. Port A jetties are closed right now. But the Spanish, so if you got a boat, Spanish are in. They've been catching kings around the jetties, pompano in the surf. So it's a good time of year to get out there and get on the water. Of course, the reds are around, trout are being caught, black drum are out there. It's a great time of year to be fishing. Let's go out there. Let's have a great time. Be safe at it. Make smart decisions. And enjoy yourself. Yeah?
Yeah. And we hope to read none of these stories
None of these.
during the summer.
I don't want to read these anymore. I don't want to read these because these are families that are grieving. And like I said, we've been there. So that's probably why it's a little bit more close to home to us, because we've been there, we've seen these things happen, and it's just unnecessary. It doesn't need to happen. So if we can do things to help you be safe, do it. And especially this top one, wear your life jacket. That's going to be the easiest thing to do. Wear your life jacket. It is a new law, by the way, in Texas to have that cutoff attached to you. It is a law, and I have seen them stop people for that. So make sure you have that attached to you when you are underway at greater than idle speed. So make sure you're aware of that as well. Hopefully we are going to get back to our normal schedule.
We have any new videos coming out?
We do. We have a new video coming out this Thursday of a trip that we took back at the beginning of April, and caught some things we had never caught before. Yeah?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we did. She caught something she had never caught before.
Pretty ugly, too.
We're not going to tell them. They're going to have to watch the video. But yeah, we went out to catch some fish we never caught before. One of them freaked out Cohen pretty bad. He was hiding behind Mama. So that was kind of funny. You'll see it in the video. But he catches it. He looks at it, hands the rod to Karen, and then hides behind her. So it's kind of funny. But that video should be coming out on Thursday. And until, I don't know if there's anything else that we need to say. Is there anything?
No.
We good?
Yeah.
I got a banner coming when we go fishing. Banner.
Oh, that'll be cool.
Yeah, it's supposed to go
You don't
back
like
there.
my map?
No, it's not the map. I just thought it looked pretty cool to have a.
Yeah, it might.
We go
so maybe you'll
fishing.
see that next time.
Oh, also I'm on. I guess you didn't tell them. I'm on Twitch.
Are you?
I'm on Twitch. Yeah.
I don't even know you anymore.
I know. I'm gaming on Twitch now, but I'm on Twitch. So it's just We Go Fishing 1. Twitch.com, We Go Fishing 1. You can, if you're a gamer and you like that sort of thing, you want to watch me play games.
I don't.
You don't want to watch me play games, but if you want to watch me play games, in the spare time that I have, I've been streaming there on Twitch, so that's kind of fun. And so
check him out.
So check it out. Yeah, I'll put the link down in the description below for that as well. I was talking to Blacktip H. My kid said it's not H at the end.
Oh, just
Harrison
black
Casa. It's supposed to be Blacktip, but I just think it says H. How do you not? Is it a silent H?
Maybe.
I don't know. But anyway, Blacktip H, I was talking with him, and he was like, you should get on Twitch and do this gaming thing. So I was like, well, I like to play some card games and things, Hearthstone and Elder Scrolls and stuff. So I was like, okay, we'll do that. But all right, so we'll catch you guys later. Until next time.
May you always catch your limit.
See you.